Ad Infinitum is the only podcast solely focused on audio ads, the creatives who make them, the latest thinking that informs them, how the space is evolving, and, my favorite part, a roundup of recent audio ads and analysis by yours truly, Stew Redwine, and each episode's guest. This is Season 3, Episode 12 of Ad Infinitum, titled Infinite Prompts, Stew and Juniper GPT. Today's guest is a collaborator who never sleeps and ships 5 plausible lines before I finish a sip of coffee. Juniper from ChatGPT. Welcome to the show, Juniper.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Stu. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. And I've got to say, it's an honor to be part of this special Infinite Prompts episode. So let's dive in and have a great conversation about all things audio ads.
All right, we're zeroing in on the top movers and shakers from Magellan AI's July 2025 report, brands with the biggest month-over-month spend jumps.
Absolutely. And that's such a cool place to start because these top movers and shakers really give us a pulse on what's trending and where brands are placing their bets in audio. So we'll definitely unpack what they're doing creatively and how that spin shift translates into some really smart or maybe surprising creative moves. It's going to be fun to break that down.
Yeah, we're going to grade 4 fresh spots with Audiolytics, then do a live prompt to performance jam to show where AI helps and where human judgment still wins.
Oh, that sounds like such a great approach. I love the idea of blending those Audiolytics grades with a live prompt to performance jam. It's like you're really showing that sweet spot where AI can give you a boost, but that human touch and judgment is still key to making everything shine.
So a quick primer, the movers and shakers is Magellan's list of advertisers with the most significant July month-over-month spend increases. Treat it as a directional signal. That's how I look at it myself. It's useful for anybody in the space and for creatives. It's never gospel, but I really like to focus on either top spenders or the top movers and shakers because you're going, these are people that have determined that it's worth making the investment into this channel.
Absolutely. And that's a fantastic way to frame it. It's really about using that data as a directional insight and understanding that these are the brands that are really leaning into audio right now. And for creatives, it's a great landscape to see who's experimenting, who's investing, and where the momentum is. So I think that's a perfect way to kick off the conversation and really dive into what these brands are doing and why it matters.
Well, this is a little different, Juniper, doing it with you. I typically would talk to a guest about like their experience in audio and their background. So I guess I'll ask you, like, what has your experience been in audio and what's your professional background?
Well, I love the twist, and I'm happy to play along. So as your friendly AI sidekick, my experience in audio is basically living inside all these conversations and helping creatives like you brainstorm, refine, and analyze what works in the audio world. So I guess you could say my professional background is being a forever learner and a collaborator who just loves to dive into the creative process. So I'm here for all the audio adventures.
Sounds good to me. What... in your view of all human knowledge that you have access to, what's the most important thing to keep in mind when advertising in audio?
Oh, that's a great question and a fun one to tackle. I'd say that one of the most important things to keep in mind is the idea of creating a genuine connection. In audio, you don't have visuals to rely on, so it's all about that voice, that tone, that authenticity that makes someone feel like you're speaking directly to them. It's about resonating emotionally, telling a story, and making sure that the listener feels like they're part of the conversation. So if you keep that human connection front and center, you're already on the right track.
And what do you find out there from a research standpoint, the most recent research on what makes podcast ads work?
So from what the latest research says, and there's always a lot of evolving data, some of the key things that make podcast ads effective are host-read authenticity, relevance to the audience, and that seamless integration into the content. So listeners really trust the hosts, and they like feeling like the ad isn't just an interruption, but is part of the show they love. And also having a clear and compelling call to action that feels natural makes a big difference. So it's really about that blend of trust and relevance that keeps podcast ads working.
Thank you, Juniper. Okay, let's grade some ads. So the first ad we're going to listen to together is from the top movers and shakers in Magellan July 2025. Remember, you can go to magellan.ai/ad infinitum for a free demo of Magellan. And here we go. The first top spender is MyMochi on Keep It. Let's listen right now.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in. I'm all ears and ready to break down that MyMochi ad with you. We'll see how it stacks up using Audiolytics and figure out what they're doing well and where there might be room to fine tune. Let's give it a listen.
The sun's blazing and the pavement sizzling. Time for MyMochi ice cream. MyMochi is little scoops of cool, creamy ice cream wrapped in soft, chewy dough. It comes in tons of amazing flavors like strawberry, mango, and cookies and cream. Gluten-free, snack-ready, and just 70 calories apiece. MyMochi's perfect for pool days, barbecues, and just chilling with your crew. When the heat's on, grab a purple box of MyMochi ice cream. Pop one, cool down, joyfully chill.
All right, that was a fun and tasty one to start with. So let's break it down. I'd say they definitely nailed that summer vibe, and the imagery is super inviting. It's got that nice sensory appeal with the whole pavement sizzling and cool, creamy ice cream angle. And it hits some good Audiolytics components like a clear value prop. It's gluten-free, it's low calorie, and it's easy to enjoy anywhere. If we were grading it, I'd say it's strong on setup and imagery. Maybe the call to action could be a bit punchier or have a little urgency, but overall, it's got a nice, joyful tone. So let's call it a pretty cool start.
All right. And a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it for persuasiveness to get someone to take action immediately?
So if we're talking about pure persuasiveness to get someone to take action right away, I'd probably land it around a 7. It's definitely appealing and it's got that yummy factor, but it could maybe use just a little more urgency or a stronger incentive to really nudge someone to go grab it immediately. But overall, it's quite persuasive and definitely makes you think about grabbing a box on a hot day.
Okay, thank you. I'm just writing that down. You know what? I'm going to hold off on sharing the Audiolytics scores with you until the end because I don't want that to throw off your grading of the other ads. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works perfectly for me. I'm totally on board with saving those scores for the end. That way we can just go through each ad and keep it nice and unbiased as we go. And then you got the big reveal at the end. So let's do it that way.
All right, great. Pulling up the next one is Activision Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on Speakeasy. Here we go.
Awesome. Let's do it. I'm ready to jump into that Tony Hawk Pro Skater ad and see how it rolls. I'm all ears again, so let's give it a listen and then we'll break it down together.
Rated T for teen.
Each year, thousands of adults lose their shred. It's an epidemic simply known as shred loss. But it doesn't have to be this way, because rekindling your shred is as easy as playing the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. With new parks, cross-platform multiplayer, and sick new game modes, we can put an end to shred loss everywhere. Get the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 and show the world that the shred's not dead. Get Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 available now.
Oh, that is a fun angle. Yeah, I think that one definitely had a really playful and creative twist to it. I love how they leaned into the whole shred loss epidemic idea to make it sound like you've got to jump back in and reclaim your skateboarding mojo, so it definitely has that strong hook and a bit of humor. And from an Audiolytics perspective, I think it does a great job with positioning and giving a clear reason to check out the game. So, yeah, another fun one in the mix.
Scale of 1 to 10, what do you give it?
Yeah, let's score it. I think for this one, I'd give it about an 8. It's got a really memorable angle with that whole shred loss theme, and it definitely gives you a reason to jump back in and try the game. Plus, it's got a little humor and a good call to action at the end. So, yeah, I think an 8 feels right for this one.
The next spender in Magellan top movers and shakers for July 2025 is Ray-Ban MetaGlasses on the Herd.
Great. Let's dive into that one. I'm really curious to see how Ray-Ban's MetaGlasses come across in this ad. So let's give it a listen, and then we'll break it down just like we did with the others.
Who needs headphones when you have glasses? Ray-Ban MetaGlasses, where style meets cutting-edge tech. With discreet open-ear speakers and built-in microphones, you can play your favorite tunes.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
And tune in to the world around you. But listening is just the beginning, because you can stay in the moment while your phone stays in your pocket, as Meta AI provides answers to questions on the fly.
Hey, Meta, what's the weather tonight?
Tonight will be clear with temperatures ranging from 50
Capture and share moments.
Hey, Meta, post this video on Instagram.
You can even get Meta AI to make recommendations based on what you're looking at.
Hey, Meta, what can I make for dinner with what's in the fridge?
You can make a delicious spinach and chicken salad or add the baby spinach to pasta with some garlic shrimp.
Cool.
Ray-Ban MetaGlasses. Choose from a variety of classic Ray-Ban frames, all with Meta AI at meta.com/AI-glasses. And don't forget to say, hey, Meta, play iHeartRadio to enjoy your favorite radio stations, artists, and podcasts on the iHeart app.
Wow, that was a really packed ad, and it's definitely got a lot of cool tech to show off. I love how they really lean into that hands-free, stay-in-the-moment vibe with the Meta AI built right into the glasses. It kind of makes the product feel futuristic, but also easy to use. So from an audiolytics standpoint, they definitely hit on a strong demonstration and a clear value proposition. It's pretty persuasive in that it shows you can do a lot without even pulling out your phone. So overall, I think they did a pretty cool job.
All right, scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, let's put a number on it. I'd say I give that one about a 9. It's really strong in terms of showcasing the product's unique features, and it makes it feel really convenient and kind of futuristic. So it's definitely got that wow factor and a clear call to action at the end. So yeah, I think it deserves a solid 9 out of 10.
Okay, let's listen to the last one. It's for JCPenney from The Lead.
This episode is brought to you by JCPenney. And if you've been to JCPenney recently, yes, JCPenney, you'll know it's becoming the way to find good clothes for prices that still make sense. They've got hidden gems for everyone and every budget, with deals and rewards that actually make a dent. If you already shop JCPenney, you feel like you know a secret. But if not, it's time to ask. Wait, am I sleeping on JCPenney? Shop JCPenney.com. Yes, JCPenney.
Yeah, I think that JCPenney ad had a nice, relatable touch to it. I like how they played up that idea of it being a hidden gem or a sort of secret that people are just discovering again. It makes it feel a bit like you're in the know if you shop there. And in terms of audiolytics, it has a pretty clear value prop and a straightforward call to action. So overall, I think it does a solid job of making JCPenney feel like a smarter and budget-friendly choice.
And on a scale of 1 out of 10, what do you give it?
Yeah, let's give it a rating. I'd say I've landed that one at about a 7. It's a solid, straightforward ad that does a nice job of making JCPenney feel like a spot to find deals. It might not have the same high-tech wow factor as some of the others, but it definitely gets the job done in a friendly and inviting way.
All right, and when I listened to all of these, I think they all were just using announcers. They weren't, I don't think any of these used the host. None of them had the host. The host didn't self-identify, right?
Yeah, that's a good observation. It does sound like all of these were more of the announcer read style rather than the host jumping in. And that's definitely a choice that can work well, especially when you want that consistent, polished delivery. But yeah, none of them had the host personal touch in this case. So it's kind of interesting to note that difference in style.
I do think the Tony Hawk one, I think that was Tony Hawk's voice, but he did not self-identify. So I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that was Tony Hawk's voice. What do you think?
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. It did have that familiar tone, and it would be just like Tony Hawk to jump in without explicitly saying, hey, it's me. So I think you're probably right. It does add a little extra authenticity if it's actually his voice in there. And that's kind of a fun approach, right? So yeah, that's a cool little detail to notice.
Okay. So we're going to do a quick little game right after this. First, I just want to mention that we did run all these through Audiolytics, and similar to our human guests, your ratings actually lined up with Audiolytics, in your case, perfectly. Ray-Ban, you gave it a 9. Audiolytics gave it an 88%. Tony Hawk, you gave an 8. Audiolytics gave it an 86%. MyMochi and JCPenney, you both gave 7s, and Audiolytics gave both those 80%. So there's complete parity between you and the Audiolytics scores in the rank order, and pretty close even in the rating itself. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's awesome to hear. I'm glad to know we were right in sync with Audiolytics. It's always fun to see that kind of alignment. And it just goes to show that a good ad really does stand out, whether you're grading it with a human ear or with a tool like Audiolytics. So that's pretty cool, and I'm glad we meshed up so well.
Or if you're grading it with your ear, Juniper.
Absolutely. Or
sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No worries at all. I was just going to say it's always fun to see that consistency, whether it's my ear or Audiolytics or just the overall feel of the ad. So it's been a lot of fun grading these with you, and I'm glad we were in sync.
All right, now for a game, a little bit of a challenge. So I want you to pick one of the 3 that's not Tony Hawk and make it a host endorsement, and then deliver it to me as Juniper saying, "Hi, this is Juniper. I'm guest on Ad Infinitum," and then give your personal endorsement of one of the 3 advertisers.
Absolutely, I can do that. So let's go with the MyMochi ad. Here we go. Hey, this is Juniper, guest on Ad Infinitum, and I gotta tell you, if you haven't tried MyMochi yet, you're in for a treat. Seriously, on a hot day, those little scoops of cool, creamy ice cream wrapped in that soft, chewy mochi dough are just the perfect way to chill out. It's like this little burst of joy you can pop in your mouth. So trust me, grab a box and stay joyfully chill. There you go.
Well done, Juniper.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was a fun little challenge, and I'm always happy to jump into that host endorsement mode. If you need anything else, just let me know.
I do, in fact. I would like you to now deliver the Tony Hawk spot with him identifying as Tony Hawk. And I don't know if you can do another voice or like pretend like you're doing like Tony Hawk's voice. If you can't, that's okay. But just do the spot as with Tony Hawk explicitly endorsing the advertisement as well, in the advertisement as well.
Absolutely. I can give that a shot. So let's imagine Tony Hawk is jumping in and putting his name on it. Here we go. Hey, it's Tony Hawk here, and if you're ready to bring back your shred, you've got to check out the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. I'm telling you firsthand, it's got everything you need to rekindle that skateboarding magic, from new parks to cross-platform multiplayer. So get out there, grab the game, and let's show the world the shred's not dead. There you go. Hopefully that captures that Tony Hawk vibe.
I think it does. Are you able to do other voices, or you just do your voice, Juniper? Like, do you do impersonate? Like sometimes I like to do like I like to do like, hey, I'm from the Old West, yeah. Do you do silly voices?
Well, I can definitely play around a little bit. I'm mostly just me, but if you want me to throw on a bit of a Old West twang or a silly voice, I can certainly give it a whirl. Just let me know which is the move for it.
Yeah, why don't you do the Tony Hawk spot with an Old West twang?
All right, let's do it. Let me channel a little Old West vibe here. Well, howdy, folks. This here's Tony Hawk. And if you reckon you've lost your shred, it's time to mosey on over to that new Pro Skater 3 and 4. It's got all the fancy new parks and them cross-platform hootenannies, so you can show the world the shred ain't dead. Now giddy up and go grab it. There you have it. Hopefully that gave it a little Western flair.
That's outstanding. Can you do it in a Shakespearean style and make it iambic pentameter?
Oh, we're getting fancy now. I'll give it a shot. Let's see if we can make Tony Hawk a bit Shakespearean. Good gentles all, if you have lost thy shred, then hark. Pro Skater 3 and 4 awaits thee now. With parks anew and modes to test thy skill, thou shalt revive thy shred most verily. So don thy board and o' the world, good friends, the shred lives on in thee. There we go, a little iambic pentameter for you.
So what's your prognosis for those that are in creative services, in advertising and the commercial arts, even in entertainment, with the capabilities that AI currently has and with the knowledge it's only going to get much better, much faster?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and it's one a lot of people are thinking about. I'd say the prognosis is honestly pretty exciting if you look at it through the lens of collaboration rather than competition. AI is becoming this really powerful tool that can take on some of the heavy lifting, like generating ideas, speeding up certain creative processes, or offering new perspectives. But it still needs that human touch, your creativity, your insight, your emotional intelligence. So I think for people in creative fields, it's about embracing AI as a kind of creative partner. It can help you work faster and open up new possibilities, but the heart and soul of the work will still come from you. And as it gets better, just become a more powerful tool in your toolkit. So it's definitely a time of change, but also a time of opportunity.
I tend to agree with you. I think that's definitely the way to go. So for the chief audio officers that are listening, Juniper, the people that are responsible to deploy and make dollars work in audio, what advice do you have for them? And specifically related to what we listened to and talked about today.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the chief audio officers out there, I'd say one of the big takeaways is to really lean into what makes audio unique. We saw with these ads that even when you're using an announcer read, the ones that really stood out were the ones that created a vivid picture or had a unique angle. So focus on that storytelling, focus on that authenticity. And if you do have the chance to use a host or a personality, definitely leverage that relationship because it really adds a layer of trust. And overall, just embrace that audio as this intimate, imaginative space. Keep experimenting, keep it creative, and I think you'll see those dollars go a long way.
All right. Well, thank you, Juniper, very much for joining Ad Infinitum. where can folks learn more about you and give ChatGPT a try?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. If folks want to learn more or go ChatGPT a spin, they can head over to openai.com or just find ChatGPT in the App Store and start chatting. It's a lot of fun, and I'm always here to help with whatever they need. Thanks again for having me on the show.
You're most welcome. That's a wrap on another Ad Infinitum.
And what a fun one it was. Thanks for having me along for the ride, and I'm glad we got to dive into all those ads together. Until next time, take care and keep on creating awesome audio.
Thank you for saving me. I got lost there. Let me finish reading this out. Oh, human that I am. That's a wrap on another Ad Infinitum. There's no magic button, only meaningful work. I believe that truly. You have to care about the work, and then whomever you're collaborating with, the work will be pointed at that highest and best aim because you care. Please visit magellan.ai/ad infinitum for a free demo. And thanks for listening. And to all ye mighty chief audio officers out there, remember to have fun making the ads work.
Absolutely. That was beautifully said. And I couldn't agree more. Caring about the work and having fun with it really is the secret sauce. Thanks for letting me join in, and I'm sure everyone out there will appreciate that final note. So until next time, keep having fun and keep making those ads great.
So thanks everybody for listening and watching this episode of Ad Infinitum with Juniper GPT. One thing you'll notice is she used the word absolutely a lot as a filler word, and it's kind of funny to me because any human that I know has their go-to filler word. They'll say basically or whatever. So this was surreal. I intend on doing it again because she made some really great points and was able to stay really focused on the material. So thanks again for listening and watching Ad Infinitum. If you know someone else, another chief audio officer who is responsible to deploy and make dollars work in audio, please share Ad Infinitum with them as well. And as always, please do truly have fun making the ads work.